going on, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin podcast. Here, presented by not our Smooth Club, Rugged Evolution Beard Care, where rugged is the new smooth. Look, very excited to be joining y'all on this great Monday. Coming off of an amazing weekend. It was my 1 year wedding anniversary. That's right, my 1 year wedding anniversary. Celebrating with my lovely queen, Shier Gavin. Shout out to Shier. We're still planning a trip. We haven't, decided on an actual honeymoon trip nor a 1 year anniversary trip, but we will be doing something before the year is over. But this weekend we just did a little private getaway. What else do we do? We went to go see comedian Bill Bellamy, over at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone, which he murdered the stage. It was our very first time seeing him. If for those who are, not familiar with Bill Bellamy, booty call. That's all I gotta tell you is booty call. Booty call any given Sunday. The list goes on and on. He's a MTV legend. He's hosted countless shows on there as well. But he had a great show. He, enjoyed some great food at a very nice restaurant in Chesapeake, Virginia, called Cork and Bull. And we just had a great time. So I'm coming off of a great weekend, but very excited to be joining y'all for another great episode here today, where we just, have a good time and just have a conversation, just chop it up with your bro, your homie. And I'm excited because I have the first ever guest of the Arrington Gavin podcast. That's right, I got guests. I told y'all I was gonna get some heavy hitters, and I do. I have a heavy hitter that's in the backstage. Hopefully, he's enjoying himself backstage. Hopefully, he can make it through this episode. No, I'm messing with you, but I have my good friend Tarry. Tarry is a business owner. He has a brand called Tranquilo. I'm gonna make sure I pronounce that right, and we're gonna get it going talking about cannabis because, as you know, your boy is very unfamiliar with cannabis. Well, I'm not that unfamiliar. Back in my past, I used to partake. I'm pro cannabis, and I see great usage and benefits from it. Medically, my grandmother is 92 years old. She uses products that has of cannabis use in it that has benefited her, and countless other stories like that too. So we're just gonna get it going, having those conversations on the benefits of cannabis. Why is it though that our leaders leading our nations, our states, our local officials, why some of them are hesitant on it and trying to push it away? And we're just gonna have those conversations here. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring on my good friend Terry. Let me see. Yes, sir. How you doing, my friend?
How you doing?
Man, welcome. Like I said, you are our first ever guest, so I'm hyped. I'm
Hey
hyped
man,
about that.
thank you. I'm super excited to be your first guest ever. Little Stone, so your first Stone guest. But again, very happy to be here. It's a pleasure. Thank you to allowing me to be the first one.
Well, Terry, man, I have nothing but respect for you, brother. You have, I've known you for about a couple years, but I feel as though I've known you forever, right? And the best thing is, we've met of a mutual friend, a good friend, Ciroc Fox. Ciroc Fox, y'all is the co-host of In Your City. We host a weekly radio show on WNSB 91.1 FM, Hot 91.1 FM. I was a guest on Ciroc's show at the time. He had his YouTube version of In Your City with Ciroc Fox, and I was a guest on the show, and
Right.
I believe beforehand, Terry, you were a guest as well.
Yeah.
And we just got communicating. The rest was history, man. We started branding together as far as just working amongst it, and cross promotion, and again, just working amongst each other. That's the power of networking. I talk a lot about it with the show, especially being small business owners. Networking is key, and it's not what you know, but it's who you know, and building those great relationships. So again, I truly thank you, man. And I know you're a busy guy, but I'm excited because, again, like I mentioned to the the listeners and the viewers here, we are going to be talking about cannabis. This is going to be a really, really high
right.
episode.
That's what I do. Cannabis is my thing, so I'm always down to talk about it in any shape, form, or fashion.
So let's talk about the history behind cannabis. Like, where's cannabis first originate from? I know it's a plant, but could you give us a little more of a history on just cannabis?
Well, I can't tell you exactly where it's originally from, because there's what we call land races that
Okay.
come from different places all over the earth. That's where
Okay.
you get your OG Kushes from. That's where you get your let's say your Alaskan strains, things of
Mm.
that nature. They come from different parts of the earth, and that's how you get your different blends
Okay.
or
Okay.
crosses, as we like to say sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But
Because
yeah, Africa, Asia,
wow.
here in the States, there's different things that have originated here in the States. Just all depends on where you're at.
Man, that's crazy because like I'm not gonna lie, like my knowledge is the fact that Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa, I remember watching, matter of fact, when Snoop went to Snoop Lion, man, that
Hmm.
movie got me. I was high just off the movie. I'm like, this man was there for 2 months.
Yes,
And again, like I said,
Jamaica.
and I was in
Yes,
oh
Jamaica's
yeah,
another
man.
one. Yep.
When I was in high school, like I said, I partake with my friends, and I had nothing but like it was always just a good time. It was always I would laugh my ass off like 24/7.
Hmm.
But it was I wasn't like an avid. It was just like, hey, look, during a gathering or something, hey y'all, let's
Right.
puff pass kind of thing, right?
Right. Right.
Then going into college really wasn't, I kind of wore off, of it. I wasn't like, smoking on a regular. But
Uh
again,
huh.
once again, when it was gatherings, I remember my sophomore year, it was four of us. I had three other suite mates, and each of them were like always puffing. I'm like, man, pass that over here, pass that over here. Now
Right.
mine, I'm like, I'm a little, it's
It's been a while.
been a minute. But again, I've never had any issues with it. Now let's start going into current society, current day right now. And cannabis is now, it's legal in a good number of states. I know at
Hmm.
first, I believe was Colorado like the first state that made it legal, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, I guess you would say on a medical side,
Medical
going
side,
from
okay.
medical to recreational, they were the one who really brought a real infrastructure to the cannabis system.
Okay, okay, okay.
California has been on it way before anyone,
Got you,
so
got you, got
let's
you.
not take California out of the equation, because they really pioneered a lot. If it wasn't for California,
Mm.
Colorado would have never made the leaps and bounds that it did to put legislation in place.
Wow, wow,
Um,
okay, okay.
and California, they had their bits and pieces of legislation here and there, but it was nothing that was really major
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
until Colorado saw the impact of what cannabis could do for their state,
Okay, okay,
as far as funding went, and so
okay, okay,
that's when things really changed. Because
okay,
in California, it was more so, um, it was an underground thing. If you knew,
okay.
you knew. If you were making money off of it, you were doing your thing. But it was more so of still a closed community.
Okay. And it being, you saying being an underground thing, and you mentioned, a keyword, which I got tons of conversations I'm gonna start popping up, because one thing I love about this show is it is a conversation. I don't have anything scripted. It's literally like everything starts coming to me like, in the midst of the conversation.
Right.
So on a medical side, you have medical benefits of marijuana. Then you do have, because again, for people that are unfamiliar with marijuana, they look at marijuana honestly as like another drug, like a drug that people is addicted to. They're like, ooh, they might not be a fan of the smell,
Right.
whatnot. Like it's a lot. You have a huge number of people that are like anti, cannabis, because it's like, all right, that's just another drug that's just gonna be, the next, whatever, right? The next crisis that's gonna keep on going rampant. But you mentioned medical marijuana. Now,
Hmm.
explain the difference from if there's a type, if there's like a medical strand, or is it just medical based on the usage of what, like the reason why you're using it? Like, how
It's
can you?
medical based off of the testing that it goes through,
Okay,
and the stringent qualifications in order for your facility to be considered a medical facility.
Okay. Okay.
So you can't just say you're growing cannabis in a warehouse
I got
and
you.
say that's medical cannabis. No, it actually has to be tested.
Mm,
But not only the testing, like your facility has to be ran to certain specifications in
mm-hmm.
order to
Mm-hmm.
even have that qualification to be able to grow that. And then from there, it goes into the product that you want to grow.
Okay.
Because you don't, I know for myself and for my growers, we don't want to grow anything that is GMO processed, anything
Mm-hmm.
of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. So that's another thing is hunting for good, viable seeds that
Mm, mm,
come from a reputable seed bank.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's certain things that go into it from being a medical standpoint and then just being a recreational
I
grow.
got you. I got you. And that's very interesting because again, you mentioned GMOs, which I feel as though like majority of the American diet is all processed. I mean, let's be honest. And
Everything.
I'm a guilty man. I love my cheeseburgers, right? I
Right,
love my,
right.
I love my fried chicken. And you start
Mm-hmm.
realizing like, damn, y'all got a lot of chicken back there. Y'all ever
I'm the
y'all ever have a
same
period where it's
way.
like you run low, right? But
Right.
or the size of your chicken wings, you're like, okay, such and such chicken wings are looking mighty
Mm-hmm.
large, or
Right.
patties. And again, we think of the keyword fast food. If you are
Uh-huh.
cooking, it takes a long process for you to have that right taste in your
It
in your
does.
cooking, regardless of whatever. Like we can go back as kids, our parents are probably, when mom or grandma was making some collard greens or you name it, they took their
Uh-huh.
time. They had to let it sit for a second. Let that
It
thing
took
sit.
all day.
It
It
took
took
all
all
day.
day. You didn't eat until it was time to eat, and it was usually 6 o'clock or later.
Exactly,
It took,
exactly,
and
exactly.
unless it was Sunday, which
Hmm.
means that grandma was cooking or preparing all Saturday, or aunties and whoever, everybody chipped in, but they were preparing all Saturday. Everybody came home after church
That is
and
so
ate on
true.
Sunday.
That
That's
and
another
and
thing
guess
that we
what?
don't do anymore either.
And let me tell you something. That food tastes so good too. After when it was finished, like let it sit. Because sometimes it even tastes
Ooh.
better when it's leftover. I'm like, wait a
The
minute,
next day,
this tastes
come
different.
on, come
This
on.
tastes different than when it was firstly served.
Monday dinner. What? You knew you had them leftovers from Sunday.
You're like, I know what I want for lunch today. I already got my
Yes.
lunch planned out.
Uh-huh.
But it's so true though, because we have people have to realize, okay, for a full on meal, if you get a full meal that's prepared in a matter of like 10 minutes, or 15 max, right? It's something
Right.
a little odd there.
Right.
But what we have to go in the root of things is when it comes to the almighty dollar. We mentioned before behind the scenes, like, just talking about how the world is very greedy when it comes to very money hungry. And I think that is, in my opinion, that is a reason why it's still so difficult trying to get cannabis legal, really, because
Mm-hmm.
you're messing with the pharmaceutical companies. Who, like, I
Right.
mean, the pharmaceutical companies are worth trillions of dollars, man. Like they're making
Mm-hmm.
so much money. And then on top of that, you might have a great physician, but let's be real, sometimes those pharmaceutical companies uses different doctors as their sales people. They
That's
say,
right.
look, we're gonna send you this, and if you can, we're giving you 50 samples. If you can sell 15 of them, boom, you're
Right.
gonna get an extra bonus and this and that. Because if they're a surgeon, I mean, surgeons don't get paid if they don't have surgeries. So
Right.
it's like, what else are they going to get their other, source of income in? So, and not saying that's all doctors, but you have to be careful amongst on in that realm of things.
Right.
Uh,
Most definitely.
yeah, and I mean it's interesting because I bring up one of the stories that we'll be discussing, like Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams, former NFL running back, one of my all-time favorite running backs in the league. Ricky Williams played, I believe, like 13, 14 years in the league. Majority of his career, a good number, he was suspended, was for cannabis use because it was
Mm-hmm.
illegal for them to use as a professional athlete, and it still is, I believe, illegal. But Ricky is saying that I hope, I wish, and I do think that the NFL should use cannabis to help treat the athletes because again, look at the impact that it puts on their body. Now, in a sense, Terry, in what ways would cannabis be beneficial to professional athletes? Like, what would it be if they smoke it? It would, like, the healing process is,
Well,
what would the benefits be out of it?
let me first say I'm not a doctor.
True,
Um,
true, true.
so I don't want anyone to think that I'm coming with a medical standpoint
Mm-hmm.
from a doctor or nurse's point of view, because I don't have those degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing people in the medical field, having sickle cell disease myself and
Mm-hmm.
using it for medical reasons, and knowing other individuals that use it for medical reasons, I do think that it would help a lot with pain. We know that football is a very physical sport. So the fact that they would be able to use something off the field that could help them, that's
Mm-hmm.
not an opioid, or that's not alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
that would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, it's not a drug, in the sense that it's, let's say, um, what's the word I'm looking for?
Inflammatory.
No,
Oh,
in enhancing, performance
enhance. Oh,
enhancing.
performance enhancing. Yeah.
It's not a, excuse me, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
performance enhancing drug.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't see why there would be a reason for them to be able to use it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not doing anything where it's making the playing field unfair in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's only helping them mentally and physically, to heal
Mm-hmm.
in a
Mm-hmm.
better process. I know a lot of players when it comes to NFL, NBA, MLB, who wish they could smoke, but they can't unless it's their off season. And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
feel 110% better in their off season when they're able to smoke.
Yeah.
They can't do that when they're on the field, and I'm sure it would help so much more. Even if there was just edibles, let's say they weren't able to smoke, but they made a rule where you could take edibles
Mm-hmm.
or topicals. Topicals are huge when
Okay.
it comes
Yeah.
to
What
joint
are the?
pain. So
Mm-hmm.
topicals are like lotions or
Okay. Okay.
oils that are infused with THC,
I got you. I got you.
CBD, and it helps a lot when it comes to joint pain. I specifically have joint pain from having sickle cell disease, and I rub it on my joints,
Wow. Wow.
and the pain for hours. Pain is gone for
And
hours.
that's again, that's another unique thing about cannabis. Like cannabis is not just something you smoke. It's used in multiple things.
Multiple
Like I mean,
ways.
lotions. You already talked about pain
Hmm.
relieving creams, uh, 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 edibles. I remember it was funny. I remember watching a cooking show on Netflix. I think it was like called like cooking Wild High or cooking something. And what they
Uh
did,
huh.
every ingredient, it looked like a full course 5-star meal, but it was
But
infused
it's
with cannabis.
infused,
And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
right?
In my mind, I'm like, that would be delicious. But do you eat it slow? Do you eat it fast? Like I'm scared. Do I like
You,
if I scarf it down? And I'm
you,
like, I'm like,
you eat it like a regular meal, because your digestive system takes longer
mm-hmm,
than it
mm-hmm.
would if you smoked it, because when you're smoking it, it hits your lungs, hits your bloodstream faster. When you're
Okay,
digesting it, it has to go through your stomach and go through your intestines, and slowly get digested that way through your bloodstream.
okay,
um,
okay.
so it takes a little bit longer, but because it takes longer, the high is longer as well. So a lot of people don't like edibles. One, because they don't kick in as fast as they want them to. So you might take an edible,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're sitting there an hour later, and you're like, man, I don't feel any different. Trust me, it's happened to me a million times. I mean, I don't feel anything different. I ate a whole brownie, and the
Not a
package
whole
says
brownie,
whole
Terry. Not a
brownie.
whole.
Package says to eat half, eat a quarter. I ate the whole brownie because you know what? Hey man, I do this. So eat a whole brownie, don't feel anything. I'm like, oh man, okay, I'm gonna eat some more. 30 minutes later, here comes the first wave
Here
hitting
comes
me.
the pain.
Yeah, and let's remember, I already ate the other piece, thinking that nothing was happening. Man, talk about hours of high.
Let me tell you some more of my lightweight stories, Terry, just to get you, I know you get a good laugh out of it. So I've had edibles before. I have the gummies, and there was, I believe, like two. I had a sample of it. It was like 2 squares, but I was asked to make sure that you cut it in, cut it in fours, cut it small because they
Right.
will pack a punch. I ate one. I'm like, okay, okay, not bad. Like you said, oh, you're not gonna feel it hit again. I'm unfamiliar with the edibles, but I knew that there's periods where I'm like, okay, look, I need better time. Like I don't sleep good at all. Like sometimes,
Right.
and it's just because I can be up all night, just fidgeting around or doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and then I gotta get up, right early. So I was trying to
Right.
look for something that can help, just guide me to sleep, just slowly. But I had that one. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Had a second one. I'm like, still nothing. So I end up having a whole one.
That's how
And
it
the stupid
happens.
thing I did, I also went in my backyard. It was still, still pretty much daylight, and I smoked a cigar. Now, mind, sometimes cigar smoking can add a little head
Oh
buzz.
man, a little,
What?
a
So I'm over
little.
here enjoying myself, and I'm just like, mm, it is very peaceful out. And now I had told my wife probably like the next day or 2 days after when I woke up. I freaking, man, my legs were so heavy.
Yes,
Everything was
yeah,
heavy. Like everything was just so heavy. I'm just like, and I'm
everything.
like, man, when they say take that little bit, people, if y'all can get something out of this show today or this episode, please listen with
Look,
taste. Do not
if you
overdo it.
do not smoke on a regular basis, if you don't do edibles on a regular basis, don't just eat the whole thing because
I,
you're gonna wonder what happened. I've had
exactly.
family members and friends that have ate too much on
Mm,
numerous occasions with
mm.
me, trying to follow my lead. And I tell people all the time, don't follow my lead. I'm different. Don't do what I'm doing. It took years to get to this point. My
Terry said,
tolerance is
do not be like me. Do not be like me."
no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Bad idea.
Man, so that was one incident, and then another incident. I was hanging with Ciroc, and I think it was before we were getting ready to do record for our radio show,
Hmm.
and he was in the car, just puffing. I'm just now mine. I'm not even getting a puff pass. I'm just talking to him, having a conversation. He just smoking like, yeah, yada yada yada. Doing it. By the time we get back to do the recording, I'm still talking with him. Why am I dropping everything? I'm trying to. I can't hold a grip on stuff. I'm like, because now it's been years, Terry, since I've ever got any second. I mean,
Right,
obviously
right,
you get a second hand if you're just in your surroundings. You can smell it in the
right.
rafters. But I'm like, "Good gracious."
But you
So
but you but you were right there sitting next to him
I was sitting next
and
to him in his
inhaling
car.
everything.
What? So I'm definitely team team edibles. Also I partake in the CBG drops as well.
CBD.
Or the is it CBD or CBG or something
There
G?
might be a CBG. Look, they're finding new cannabinoids all the
I
time.
was just,
So
there's some
I
there's
could be
drops.
wrong.
Yeah, I
I
well
could be
no I
wrong.
mean well there I look I could be wrong too because I'm talking with an expert. So I know like in my family, cholesterol runs in my family. So like my
Okay.
dad has it, my mom has it. So it's like more liable that's gonna be hereditary for me. Hope right now I don't have
Right.
any signs of it, but it's like the numbers start looking funny. I'm like, no, I have to start
Hmm.
looking at another alternative. So I have tried that and it has benefited as well. So
Nice.
again, the great benefits of cannabis, but what kills me, and I'll bring on this story. And I know you hate kind of talking on the political side, but I mean, let's be real. The ones that are making the laws and making this is hey when it comes to these politicians.
Right.
Over in New York City GOP pushes for a ban to for public use of marijuana. Now that's just one story. Now, in a sense, I'm like this: if y'all ban that, then you might as well ban cigarette smoking publicly. Because for one, if I look and it's getting to the point very annoying. Like the other a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I we went to go visit our alma mater in a
Hmm.
small town in North Carolina. Now the town is very, very small, not a lot of action. If the college wasn't there, it really wouldn't be a town. So every
Sure.
time we visit, it's like, okay, what did they build up? What did they create here just to make it, resourceful for the students?
Hmm.
Of course, what do we see? A tobacco and vape shop. Now,
Uh,
we just saw one. Now, we were told by a coach on campus that a total of 4 tobacco and vape shop has opened on just one block. Like the town is not that big.
mhm.
So I bring that up because tobacco and vape shops are going like rapid. Like everywhere you go to, I mean, corner to corner of a street, you see tobacco and vape shop. So you can easily open and start those and allow those to be there, allow cigarette smoking in public. But you're
Mhm.
saying, okay, put a ban on public marijuana usage. It's just, I don't know, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of, I guess, in a sense, if they say, okay, look, you don't want a child to come in contact with that, but again, cigarette smoking. Like I'm just saying, like,
I mean, I get it. It's man, that's tough.
I know
Ooh,
I kind of
yeah,
gave. I know I kind of gave
that.
a earful on that. Well,
well,
I'll
well,
ask
and
your opinion on like why do you think people are really trying to prohibit marijuana, really trying to ban it completely, and just say no, we're not gonna ever legalize it. It needs to, I guess, be delegalized
well,
or whatever. Like
I think on that, and it's really more so just because you have a lot of old blood
mm,
that just they don't want to see that change,
mm, mm,
and
mm,
they're gonna fight tooth and nail to not see that change.
mm, mm,
I think that's really one of the major issues as to why you don't see a lot of places jumping on board
mm,
with cannabis,
mm,
um, because in reality, um, cannabis doesn't create crime. No one is killing each other over cannabis.
mm, mm,
You can't say that when it comes to other drugs,
mm,
which
mm,
I believe
mm.
is one of the reasons why the government is looking to reschedule it. Um,
Wow, wow.
because they know that at the end of the day, the war on drugs should have never been focused on cannabis.
Mm,
The,
mm,
the,
mm,
what was the reason and the purpose? Now, I understand why New York wants to do what they're trying to put in place,
mhm,
as
mhm,
far as no open consumption.
mhm,
I'm assuming because I haven't read the law, but
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
assuming no open consumption. Um, I guess within the city
Yeah,
or something to that effect. It's crazy when you go to New York. I love New York.
I love it too. It's one of my
I
all
love
time
New
favorite cities.
York, but New York has changed when it
Mhm,
comes to just how free they are with cannabis. And
mhm,
I
mhm,
again, I love cannabis 110%. But I never thought I would be somewhere where as soon as I got off the train, it just smacked me in the face. And then
yeah.
everywhere I went, I just saw people smoking, which again, it doesn't bother me, but I could
Mhm,
see how it would bother other people.
mhm,
And I'm that I can say that because I travel a lot. I
mhm,
smoke
mhm.
everywhere I go, and I just know how it offends some people.
Yeah,
Because if I had people smoking cigarettes around me, it would offend me. I don't like cigarette smoke.
yeah, yeah.
Just because I like weed smoke doesn't mean I like cigarette smoke. So I totally understand that whole thing. But on the flip side, with what you were saying, because with North Carolina having the vape and tobacco
Tobacco. Mhm,
shops, I think if you're going to put a ban on cannabis as far as open consumption, you need to
mm.
put a ban on tobacco and vaping open consumption as well,
Yeah, because people are
because
vaping all the time in public areas, and it's so annoying.
exactly.
It's so annoying.
Especially the ones who have those huge I
Oh,
don't even know what they're
they
called.
look
The
like
big
big
boxes,
batteries. They look like
and they
big freaking battery
they're
chargers. And they
blowing
just
huge clouds everywhere, and I'm like, bro, like that's crazy. Like,
and I'm with you. Like it's like okay, be fair in a sense like this. Like I will say this. I'm team cannabis because again, I know because I speak with people like you, our good friend Dr. Denise Foster. Like I speak with the
right.
pros that
Shout
say,
out
okay,
Dr.
look, these
Denise.
shout out to Dr. Denise. they, if it's this much benefits from it, and especially for, for older people, for young, really, really young. I mean, you see this, read the stories, you see the benefits. So, okay, I'm team, legalize cannabis. Now,
Mhm.
again, am I a fan of the smell? I'm not crazy about the smell. That's why if I do partake, give me a gummy. I'll take a
Right, right,
gummy.
right,
If
right.
I'm in my house just chilling, whatever, I grab me a gummy.
Mhm.
But I do see huge benefits. My dad uses the joint pain like
Mhm.
relieving cream.
Right.
It benefits because he's a former athlete, so he sees the benefits. So again, I'm all for building this up, but tobacco does not do anything that's beneficial.
At all.
And
At
I'm a
all.
cigar guy. I like a cigar here
Right.
and there, but like you mentioned, alcohol is not beneficial. Vape is not beneficial.
Mm.
People thought vape was like a good alternative, like, okay, this can help me quit. No, really,
I
it's no.
just saw a post somewhere where this girl was saying that she thought that when she switched to vaping that it was a healthier option. She said
Mm,
now she hates the fact that she even switched to vaping. She
wow,
wish she would have
wow,
switched to cigarettes because vaping is 10 times worse. And she's so
wow.
addicted that she doesn't know what to do now. She thought she was addicted to cigarettes. She said, I'm so addicted to vaping that I can't go without it's an everyday thing for me. I have to have it. And I was like, yo, that's
See, and
crazy.
it's
I
crazy. And then
mean,
on top of that, like people can I'm pretty sure you can lace your vape pen with anything if you ask. So again, they can't. And the reason why I brought that up is because in the public, in the news now, you hear a lot about fentanyl,
right.
it getting laced into other. So again, if they use that argument to say, well, you don't know what's in your marijuana. Well, again, what's in we don't know what's in anything.
We don't know what's any we literally don't know what's in anything. So if we're gonna play that argument, I mean, we got to play that across the board. We don't know what you're putting in these cigarettes, and from what we've heard, you're putting in these cigarettes, it's not good.
Exactly.
And then we don't know what's in this vape juice, but from what we've heard, it's not good.
Like,
And the last time I've looked at my cannabis, even look, I'll put it to you like this: even the worst
mm,
cannabis that I've had tested still came nowhere close to as bad as what's put into cigarettes or vape juice or even alcohol for that matter.
wow, that
So,
is.
and that's the worst, which I would never smoke. I
Mhm.
would never tell anyone to smoke, but that's the worst.
That's crazy.
Excuse me.
That's
So
crazy.
if I'm not smoking that and you're still smoking what you're smoking, and that's again not to knock anybody because to
Mhm.
each their own.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we're talking about health wise, uh, I mean,
It's it's always gonna be some head scratches, man. Look, I could always continue to talk with you for hours and hours, and you're gonna be. This is not the last time you're gonna be on the show, man. But before we end this conversation, man, I want to speak about your brand, Tranquilo. Can you tell the folks a little bit about your brand, Tranquilo? Did I pronounce that right
yeah,
first?
yes, you did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I just want.
So it's a lifestyle brand,
Mm,
and so it is a cannabis lifestyle brand, but it's not focused based off of just cannabis.
mm-hmm.
It's really more so of a beach, relaxed, calm, relax, enjoy life,
Yeah.
just become tranquilo,
Mm, mm.
just calm
Become
down,
Tranquilo.
you
Well,
know.
everybody needs to calm down too, boss. Everybody needs to.
Everybody, spread a little bit of love,
Mhm,
smile a little bit, hold the door open for somebody, just the simple things in life sometimes make the biggest difference.
mhm, mhm.
And that's really what the brand is about and encompasses. Here in Virginia Beach, where we're based out of,
Okay.
that's really more so of our lifestyle. And you live here. I mean, I
Mhm,
know you do a lot of things in the 757
mhm, mhm.
area, but Virginia Beach, I know if you live in this area in the 757, you've come to Virginia Beach and you see
Oh yeah.
how it's just real calm and relaxed. The people here kind of just chill, especially when you get further down to the beach.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so that's what the brand is about. That's what it encompasses. It's all about just just love and peace. We're trying to have a good time.
Man, love and peace. Y'all, and that's a perfect way to end this conversation, man. Love and peace is what we all need, because guess what? A lot of people, man, just first of all, road rage is on an all-time high. The brawls, I'm seeing brawls and wedding showers and baby showers and
Man,
football, kids sporting event. Everybody is just either fighting, arguing. Everybody needs to just have love and peace.
just
And
love
they
and
need to they
peace.
need to check out Tranquilo. They need to check.
Yes.
How can people continue to follow you,
Um,
Terry, man, and the brand as well?
Tranquilo LLC 23.com.
Awesome. Awesome.
Tranquilo LLC 23, the number 23.com.
Hey, I love it, man. I love it. Look, like I said, man, you're always invited, to the show as well as the radio show. We love to have you on as well. But I truly appreciate just the friendship, the knowledge. I want to continue to have more conversations like this, because when we end this conversation, I'll probably be like, I had about 20 more questions I'm gonna ask, but look, another show, because again, I'm very intrigued and interested in learning more when it comes to cannabis, because hey, we got to take care of our temples internally as well as externally. So we
Most
have to have
definitely.
those. We have to, know those basic lifestyles. Again, y'all, my good friend, Mr. Terry Pulliam, CEO of Tranquilo. So be
Man,
sure
man.
to follow. Shout out, man. Terry, take care, boss, man. I truly
Yes, sir.
appreciate you.
Thank you. It was a blessing. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Take care, boss.
Yes, sir. You too.
Look, y'all, what an amazing conversation with my good friend Terry, man. I hope y'all all had your pen and paper with you and took notes, because again, what we were having was just, again, simple conversations that everybody can have, and we learn so much amongst conversations. But again, I also enjoyed this one. I think, look, seeing him puff on that that herb. I don't know. I might need to finish this up and go get me some. I don't know. Maybe not, because I told y'all my stories. Y'all catch me running around somewhere naked. So ain't that answer right there? All right. I'm joking. Like what was that movie? Like Friday, like Smokey. Look, I don't want to have a Smokey part two. No, I don't want to have a Smokey part two. But in all jokes aside, though, it is beneficial. Again, I have two family members. My 92-year-old grandmother, who she uses products with cannabis in it that has benefited her joint pain. Again, 92 years old. 92 years old. My father, he's a former athlete. He uses it as well. I have taken products that benefited my health as well. So again, we want to keep on promoting that, keep on promoting health, love, peace. Like Terry has said, love, peace, tranquilo. That's gonna be like the full message for 2024, because 2023 is almost up. I'm not gonna use it as the message for 2023, 2024. So y'all, once again, I hope y'all enjoyed a great conversation, a great episode here on the Arrington Gavin podcast. Every Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, new episodes I'll be dropping 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts on. Or you can check us out visually on my YouTube channel, R Smooth Club Media, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And please check out my other show, In Your City, hosted by myself along with my brother and good friend, comedian Ciroc Fox. It's our weekly radio show, which airs every Sundays at 12 p.m. on WNSB Hot 91, the soul of VA. If you are not in the Hampton Roads area, no worries. You can listen live by going to WNSB.org online, or you can download the free app, WNSB app, available for Android users and iPhone users. I'm going to get on out of here. And once again, y'all be easy. See you next time. See you on Wednesday here on the Arrington Gavin podcast, presented by Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is the new smooth.